I'm 25F and I dated my ex, Ryan, 26M, for 2 years. We met at a mutual friends game night, bonded over shared hobbies like hiking challenging trails and competing in intense board game marathons. And things felt solid at first with cozy weekends and inside jokes. He worked in sales, always charming and outgoing, with a close-knit group of guy friends including his best one, Kyle, 27M, who I'd hung out with plenty at barbecues and trips, considering him a reliable friend too. Ryan's past included an ex, Mia, who cheated on him dramatically, but he claimed to be completely over it, often downplaying it as ancient history. About 6 months ago, Ryan started acting strange, constantly bringing up Mia in random conversations, saying things like how adventurous she was in the bedroom and wondering aloud if we'd ever try something bold to keep the spark alive. It escalated last month when he sat me down after a romantic dinner I'd cooked, his eyes eager, and begged for a threesome with her, explaining it would be thrilling and help him get final closure from her betrayal by turning the tables. I was stunned, my stomach twisting in hurt and disbelief, feeling utterly disrespected, and told him absolutely not, that it crossed every boundary I had and made me question his commitment. He pushed back hard, insisting I was being closed-minded and that it could actually strengthen our bond by exploring together. But when I held firm and suggested counseling instead, he dumped me on the spot, coldly saying he needed someone more open and willing to match his energy. Heartbroken and furious, replaying the scene in my head like a bad movie, I vented to Kyle over coffee a week later. He'd always been the level-headed one in their group, offering steady advice during past rough patches. One thing led to another, emotions running high from the raw breakup pain and a shared bottle of wine, and we ended up hooking up that night at his place, tangled in a mix of comfort and defiance. It felt like sweet revenge at first, a way to get back at Ryan for humiliating me and treating our relationship like a disposable thrill. But now guilt is creeping in as I wonder if I stooped to his level. Ryan found out through mutual friends and blew up my phone, calling me vindictive for going after his best friend right under his nose. Kyle feels bad too, but says Ryan deserved a wake-up call for his selfishness. My sister thinks it was empowering and hilarious karma, but I'm second-guessing if this makes me the bad guy in the long run. Am I in the wrong for revenge hooking up with my ex's best friend after he begged for a threesome with his own ex and dumped me for refusing? Or was this a fair response to his betrayal? Update 1. After posting about how Ryan dumped me for refusing his plea for a threesome with his ex Mia, pushing it as a way to spice things up and get closure, despite my clear boundaries and suggestions for other ways to connect, I turned to his best friend Kyle for support, and in a heated moment of hurt, we hooked up as revenge. Your comments mixed support with warnings about potential drama exploding in our circle, and facing Ryan about it only made things messy, pulling in more friends and adding layers of awkward tension. I ran into Ryan at a group hangout 3 days ago, already awkward since we share so many overlapping friends from game nights and weekend getaways, and he pulled me aside in the kitchen, demanding to know why I'd betray him by sleeping with Kyle and accusing me of plotting to humiliate him. I explained calmly that his threesome request and sudden breakup left me devastated, feeling like he'd thrown away our 2 years for a selfish fantasy, and that the hookup happened organically in the heat of the moment amid my pain. He responded angrily, claiming I was trying to ruin his life and that Kyle had crossed an unforgivable line as his closest friend since college. Emotions boiled over when other friends overheard the raised voices, and one asked for details right there. Ryan spun it as me being spiteful and out for blood, while I pointed out his role in pushing boundaries first, like how he'd compare me unfavorably to Mia in subtle digs. Kyle jumped in later via text, apologizing for the fallout but standing by what happened, saying he'd always thought Ryan treated me poorly and that the truth needed to come out. The group split opinions in a frenzy. A couple of friends sided with Ryan, saying I should have kept it classy post-breakup and moved on quietly, while others backed me, sharing their own stories of Ryan's past pushy behavior with exes, like pressuring them into group dates that fell off. Now Ryan's avoiding events altogether. Kyle's distant as he processes the friendship strain and fields angry calls, and I'm reflecting on whether this revenge was worth the tension. My heart still aches from the rejection, but part of me feels a spark of liberation, almost laughing inside at the ironic twist of it all. Did confronting him help clear the air, or just stir up more hurt and division in our once-tight crew? Update 2. Building on how Ryan ended things after I refused his persistent requests for a threesome with Mia, framing it as fun and healing, but dumping me when I said no and suggested alternatives like therapy, I confided in Kyle, leading to our impulsive hookup as a way to strike back. The kitchen confrontation at the hangout, where Ryan accused me of betrayal and friends got involved with their own takes, only escalated when Kyle shared shocking insights that changed everything, adding suspense and unexpected turns to the mess. Kyle asked to meet me privately at a park last week, looking serious as we walked along the paths under the evening sun, the air thick with unspoken tension. He confessed he'd been warning me subtly about Ryan for months, dropping hints in group chats about Ryan's history of pressuring partners into uncomfortable situations, like pushing Mia into open relationships before she cheated and left him reeling. Kyle admitted he'd stayed quiet out of misplaced loyalty, but regretted it deeply, especially since he'd developed real feelings for me over time, seeing how Ryan undervalued my kindness and often took me for granted during our hikes or game nights. The hookup, he explained, wasn't just revenge for him. It sparked from genuine attraction he'd hidden to avoid drama, built from moments like our deep talks at group events where he'd felt a connection. This floored me. I reflected on little moments that suddenly clicked, like Kyle always checking in after Ryan's odd comments about exes, or defending me in subtle ways during petty arguments at parties. When Ryan heard about our talk through a mutual friend who'd overheard, he confronted Kyle directly in a heated phone call, ending their friendship on the spot and accusing him of backstabbing and waiting in the wings all along. The group chat exploded with debates that night, messages flying like popcorn. Some cut Ryan off after hearing Kyle's side, sharing their own doubts about Ryan's character, like his tendency to ghost friends in need, while others stayed neutral, saying it was all too messy and dramatic for what started as a simple breakup. I'm processing the whirlwind, feeling validated but overwhelmed, with Kyle suggesting we take things slow to see if there's more than just the rebound, perhaps starting with casual dates. Mom thinks it's a silver lining and almost too perfect, but is getting closer to Kyle's smart or risking more complications in this tangled web. Update 3. This is the final update after Ryan's breakup over my refusal to join a threesome with Mia, positioning it as exciting closure, but walking away when I stood my ground and offered compromises. The emotional hookup with Kyle, the hangout clash where Ryan lashed out and friends divided, and Kyle's revelations about his warnings and hidden feelings. Those talks shifted the dynamic dramatically, and over the past 2 months, everything has settled into a surprisingly positive place, full of unexpected joys and satisfying comeuppance. Kyle and I started dating casually at first, going on low-key hikes through scenic trails and coffee runs where we opened up about the past. Him sharing how he distanced from Ryan's group after seeing red flags like Ryan's manipulative sales tactics spilling into relationships. Me venting the hurt of feeling disposable while laughing internally at how my revenge turned into a glow-up. It grew into something real and steady. We made it official last week with a fun board game night just for us, and it's healthy, with open communication and mutual respect that Ryan never offered, like planning adventures together without any pressure. Our friends mostly supported it, a few even apologizing for not spotting Ryan's pattern sooner, like his habit of idealizing exes while undervaluing current partners. And we've built new traditions with the loyal ones, like group camping trips that feel fresh and drama-free. Ryan faced fallout too. Words spread organically in our circle about his behavior, costing him a couple of friendships, and even a work referral when a mutual contact heard the details and backed out of a deal, leaving him scrambling in his sales job. He reached out once through a neutral friend, apologizing vaguely for pushing too far and wishing us well in a half-hearted way, but I kept responses short and polite, focusing on my healing through journaling and time with supportive people like my sister, who teases me about the poetic justice. It's good now. I've got a partner who truly values me, closure from the pain with a side of ironic satisfaction, and a tighter circle that feels genuine and fun. The revenge turned into personal growth, leaving me stronger, happier, and ready for whatever comes next.